The road ahead, it twists and turns, and the sun beats down and it burns. But I keep on pushing through. And every step quicker than the last, my feet tread down this.
Okay, I'm walking through beautiful downtown Oshkosh, and it's a typical Midwestern town here. It's raining, been raining, and you know, things, it gets pretty old after a while dealing with the rain. And so anyhow, I'm walking up. I'm gonna go see the museums and stuff before I head out, and so I'll let y'all know how the museums are. Okay, so I haven't left Oshkosh yet. I'm still going over to see the museum. I just got through getting interviewed by the Oshkosh newspaper, scoping out the town. I was going over to the museum and just going to see what they've got, see if they've got anything. I suspect if these are like a lot of the museums, and they're going to be museums on farming history and a little bit of stuff about generally the trails or the pioneers coming through and that kind of stuff. Oshkosh is a pretty little town, I'll say that about it. This is the whole Midwest, so it's just got kind of a quaint Midwestern air to atmosphere to it. Pretty neat. I still don't want to move here. Not that I have anything against the Midwest other than the fact that, holy cow, it rains a lot, and it's unreasonable amount of rain. Okay, this is the weirdest thing. It's obviously raining, and it's, when you look at the weather radar and stuff, there is literally nothing anywhere close to here. But, who do you believe? Your electronics or, the actual fact there is rain falling from the sky on me. And, I walked over to this museum, and it says it opens at 10, and it's got a phone number you can call if you want to make an appointment. I called the phone number, and she's like, does it open at 10? I thought it opened at 11. Well, we'll open it when we get there. We're in Lisco right now. And I'm like, okay. And so I think I'm going to backtrack through town here, and I may be spending another night here. I'll be honest, the idea of striking out into this weather, I'm going to get out here in the street and kind of pan around and let y'all see the great Oshkosh. But if you look down right down the street here is the Platte River. And if you see the Platte River, if you can see down there, you can see that it's extremely overcast, and that's been pretty much my experience with the Midwest. It does sunny up some, and they're all fussing because they haven't had enough hot and enough sun to get their corn really going well, and they're all afraid they're not going to make a corn crop this year, which, that's got to be horrible if your entire year's income is based off of whether that corn crop comes in or not, and you're sitting there looking at, having to make tax payments on your land and payments on these big huge tractors. They own some gigantic tractors, and all the seeds you've put in the ground and everything like that, and not knowing whether you're actually going to get paid on that. Not going to get into the politics of everything, but there's a little bit of worry that with the current economic policy that they may have a hard time selling their grain overseas and stuff, and they're afraid that the price of grain is going to drop, on top of the fact they may not make a lot of grain. And here we come to something that's central to Nebraska. You can look and see this is the railroad, and every town in Nebraska pretty much has a railroad. And I think that's partly due to the way they built railroads. You know, they promised the railroad companies huge tracts of land if they would build railroads, and in exchange for that they had to put a town ever so often and stuff like that. And so there hasn't been a place in Nebraska I've been that you can't hear the trains blowing when they go through. The trains pass right through the middle of every one of the little towns. And I assume at some point this was probably how they got from little town to little town and stuff like that, and how they took their crops to Chicago or wherever they needed to go to sell them. But